Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a new video. In this video I want to talk about a dictionary, and the reason that I want to talk about the dictionary is they are very important. They are so handy, so you need to know the basics of it. First we go to a website, and I put a link in the description of this website, by the way. And this website explains the basics of a dictionary. So what is a dictionary and what can you do with it? So as the title already says, the fundamentals of data structure dictionary. We always used list in Python, that's also a data structure. But in Dynamo 2.0 they introduced a dictionary. And a dictionary is really important in Dynamo because a list always needs the same order. Alright, if you messed up your order in a list, it's really hard to get the order back. And normally you just need to delete it and start over because you messed up the order. But with a dictionary, the order doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where your values are and where your objects are, if that makes any sense. So let's go to the example, or let's go read this little piece of text, and let's take a look at this example, what they did over here, because this is the very basic of a dictionary. So, a dictionary is a general purpose data structure for storing a group of objects. A dictionary has a set of keys, and each key has a single associated value. When presented with a key, the dictionary will return the associated value. For example, the results of our classroom test could be represented as a dictionary with pupils' names as the key and their scores as the values. So, what does this text say? Alright, we have here our pupils, our classmates. And our dictionary is the result of the test. So Ditra scored 70 points in the test. Nova scored 84 points in the test. And let's go on to the bottom. Alright? And normally, if we put this in a list and we call for Ditra, what the score is, you would need to do a couple of extra steps to get the score actually. To get the score 17. Especially if you messed up the order. And what a dictionary does is it saves the key. In this case, the key is the name of our pupils, and the corresponding value is the test result. And as we can see here, this is the results is our dictionary, and we call for the result from Nova. And Nova scored 84 points in our test. And next thing that we are doing is, alright, go back to our test and give me the result of Elsa. And Elsa scored 29 points on the test. That's not really high, but this is the really basic of a dictionary. So let's go to Dynamo and let's do a practical example of it. So we're in Dynamo, and right here in the menu you can see here dictionary. And here are all the functions that you can use for a dictionary with standard Dynamo. You can always use a Python script to do more with the dictionary, but this video is about the basics of a dictionary, so we don't get to the Python scripts. So, the first thing that we need to do is to create a dictionary. So we have here on the top by keys and values. And this node allows us to produce a dictionary with the supplied keys and values. The number of entries is the shorter of keys or values. And what does this mean? Oh, wait one second. The input keys is a string and the values can be anything. That's what it's saying with a var. So let's click on it. And we can see here, this is the node that allows us to create a dictionary. And if we want to create a dictionary, let's do the same as, well, on the website. Let's make a test result with names and the corresponding value. So I put in my name. My name is Daniel. And that is a key. And I barely passed the test, so my score was 55, right? So let's connect it to our value. And right now, we created our dictionary inside Dynamo. It's a dictionary object, it's not a list object. And the key is Daniel, and the corresponding value is 55. And now we want to retrieve our test score, right? So we say, not set value at key. Obtain the value at the specified key. The input is a dictionary and a key as a string. And the output can be anything. So select it. And we can connect right away our dictionary. And because we have only one key, only my name, we can select only that key. So let's say Daniel again. Right? Connect it. And it will give back the corresponding value, 55. If we have another key, let's say we have more people in our class. So let's say Itze is also in our class. This. Let's close the list. Oh. And Itze did a little bit better than me. So Itze got 81 points for the test. Like this. Right now you can see the dictionary already updated. Itze has 81 points and Daniel has 55 points. And now we want to retrieve the data from Itze. So we type in here, Itze. And you can see Itze scored 81 points. And this is actually the basics of a dictionary. This shows you how to build a dictionary and how to get the values by a key. You can also retrieve keys at values and stuff, but that you need to do that in Python because they don't have a function over here. My suggestion is to actually explore the dictionary very well because it's very important, and in the next example I'm gonna show you why this is important. So if I save my file, and let's go to the next example where I show you why do you want to use a dictionary above a list in some cases. Alright, welcome to our next example. In this example I made some input data, and our input data is a variable. So what this means is we have a list and we have our letters, and every number down here says something about a letter. So letter A means 1, letter B means 2. You can see this as parameter names, and you can see this as the values inside Revit, for example. So if I go, let me just show you what I mean. Go to Revit, we select, for example, a wall. We can say, all right, comment is A, and what's inside the comment is 1. That's the same as what's standing here. A means 1, right? And well, to show you what the data is, I made a watch node and I created a list. So we can see here index 0 is A and index 0 is 1, right? Here I shuffled my list, as we can see over here as well, A, B, D, C, so it only changed the last 2. And I did this so I cannot predict which index is standing for which item, because that is where the dictionary becomes handy. If you have if your list is always the same structure, so it's always A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3, 4, then you can use a list. It's not a big deal. But if we shuffle our list, so let's say the input data is different, I recommend to use a dictionary, and I'm going to show you that why. So let's retrieve data from our data list. So we want to retrieve, for example, the letter C, and the corresponding data is number 3. So what we need to do is first get our data. So let's say here in the code block, get item. Which item do we want? We want the item from list 0 first. And then we want our item index 2, right? So index 2, close it. And then we need our value of the letter C. So we want, and enter, get item. We want now from list 1. We want item 2 as well, because item 2 says something about our letter. Let's connect our shuffled list. And let's create a new list, by the way. List. And let's connect all of it up. And let's use a watch node again, so we can see what our data is. And we can already see it gives back D4, but I want C3. And that's because I shuffled the list. So if I don't shuffle it, let's go back behind it, we get our corresponding data. That's the data where we are searching for. But if I shuffle my list, if my input data So this data is where I'm talking about is variable. So age can be anything. It can also be the letter D, but letter D needs to correspond to number 4. So number 4 will change to number 1 over here. That's what I did with the shuffle. And if we connect it, we can see it gives back the wrong value. So what we can do is we can build a filter for it. So search for the letter A and give the index back, and we need the index for our other list and retrieve that index. Or we can use a dictionary, because why do we want to write a code to retrieve, well, the letter A, and then the computer knows, all right, letter A has index 0, so select index 0 from list 1. Why don't you use a dictionary? So let's delete this. Let's go to a dictionary. And we say the first thing that's in the list here by keys and values, because we need to create a dictionary first. And to make this a little bit easier to keep the listed shuffle inside, I need to get item 0 and get item 1. Like this. Item 0 are our keys, so A, B, C, D, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I know the order is different, but let's connect it up anyway, like this. So let's take a look in our dictionary. Our dictionary now represents, it's saying day is 4, H is 1, C is 3, and B is 2. And right now I want a value of B, right? That's where we're aiming for. So we say get value at key, sorry, normally it's get value. And we connect our dictionary. And what do we want to select? Well, we want to select the value of letter C, right? Let's connect it up. And let's do the same thing as here, so we can see easily the difference between the results. Let's say this is our key, this is our value. Let's put it up over here. And as we can see already, this one says, no, I need to select D4. And the dictionary say, no, you ask for letter C, and the value of letter C is number 3. And now it doesn't matter if I shuffle my list or not. I can show you right now. If I just connect it to get item, and this one as well, we can see they gave back the same data, because we typed in here the index number what we want. But if we change it back to the shuffled index, the dictionary already gives back the corresponding value. It's always searching for letter C, because we said letter C means 3. And a list doesn't have that purpose. A list is just for if you use a list, it always needs to be sorted if you want to do actually with something with a list. So it always needs to be the same. And that's why I prefer a dictionary over a list in cases like this. If your input data is variable, use a dictionary, because otherwise you can get a lot of trouble. And we all know the trouble maybe, because before Dynamo 2.0 there wasn't a dictionary, so we need to work around it. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you find it interesting. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.